Hey, everybody. Listen, happy Saturday night. Listen, it's late night for me because it is 10 o'clock in New Jersey. But I couldn't sleep because I was sleeping earlier. I had me some naps today on and off. I was, just chill today, cleaned my house and was chilling. And then I said, you know what, let me just go ahead and pop on real quick, do a little express train ride with a couple of stories I got here, right? And I said, whoever come through, come through. So it's nice to see a few of y'all came through and y'all popping in to listen to the Diva. Listen, tonight's trending topics, the title is simple. It's called Crazy. And before I get into that, I want to say, rest in peace, Diane Keaton. She passed away, actress, 79 years old. And I think I loved almost every movie she was ever in. Great actress. I loved a lot of her work. And, we all got to go someday. And it always just seems like, everybody goes too soon. But may she rest in peace and she leaves a good legacy behind in terms of all the work that she has done in the art, so to speak. So that's that with Diane Keaton. May she rest in peace. I also want to just do a quick little note on Wendy Osefo and her husband Eddie or Edward Osefo, and the fallout that they're having with this whole insurance fraud thing. So one of their co-workers, castmates, she pretty much said, Ashley Darby said, y'all just not finding out, but we been knew. I wonder at some point, well, I'm sure probably at some point, Wendy and her husband knew that they probably was under investigation in regards to this burglary. So they probably knew for a while that they was under investigation. And in addition to them kind of knowing that, I feel like the insurance companies, and listen, when you want to try to fraud people out of their money, they're going to do what they got to do to catch you, right? I feel like they allowed them to do season 10 just to see that when they was filming in their house, did they see on the tape, on the footage, any items that they claim, in this burglary was stolen? Was it seen in this footage when they was filming Bravo this season, the Real Housewives of Potomac? And also, she filmed Wife Swap. So while she was filming that, did she have on any items that they claim were stolen? This is going to be we thought we was done with the extreme court cases after Diddy's case finally closed out. But I guess we're going to close out the year with a bang because I do know that Wendy and her husband go back to court sometime in November. Don't know if they're going to, what's going to happen, if they're going to go to court and plead guilty or if they're going to go to court and plead not guilty. Time will tell. We have to see how this thing is going to play out. But those my little updates on those particular items and situations. So tonight's trending topics is called Crazy. And I saw this story a while ago and I kept saying, do I want to talk about it? Do I not want to talk about it? I tried to wait and see if some more information was going to come out about it. This Kada Scott, a young lady, went to work and literally disappeared in like thin air. They can't find her. Parents reported, her mom reported her missing the very next day. So her car was still at the job, and her friends were saying that she was getting some harassing phone calls a few days before she just vanished out of nowhere. And my thing is, she went to work for her shift. When we get into this story, you'll understand what I'm saying. I'm feeling like somebody at the job is involved in this. And the reason why I'm saying that is, how do you go to work for a shift? You're working. Then all of a sudden, you don't finish out your shift. Nobody's calling, looking for you. At some point, you'd be like, well, where's Diva? She was working here. She punched in, she didn't punch out. And I haven't seen her for the last, hour, 2 hours or whatever. And it's not her lunch break. Didn't nobody at the job question like why she didn't finish out her shift? Something in the water ain't clean. We're going to talk about it. And then, the childhood stars. This Darius McCrary, he played on Family Matters. And, it seemed like ever since Family Matters, he just lost his way and never found it back. So we're going to talk about Darius because he was arrested. They said it was an arrest warrant out for him, and it's about him not paying child support. It's a mess. It's crazy, but we're going to talk about it. And then the last story is the craziest of them all. We have this teacher that the whole community in school loved her. Now, listen, we be doing a lot of teacher and school stories over here with the school bus and all that other kind of stuff. And the teachers are just crazy and insane. But this particular teacher, everybody loved her. She worked in the school, I think, at least they said 20 years or something like that. Well, she was arrested. And she was arrested because they found out that she was using somebody else's identity. It's a mess. Now, listen, the link is out there. My regular's not here. They probably didn't even know I was coming on. This is just an impromptu live. So there's no one to bring in the building, but we still want to do the routine. Y'all know what I need in the chat. I need a what? I need a choo-choo. Hold aboard, everybody. It is Saturday night trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. The title is called Crazy. Where is this Kada Scott? It's very sad. This Darius McCrary being arrested, and the teacher, the identity theft. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to share screen right now. And I guess we'll do this Kada Scott story. Well, you know what? Let's knock out the Family Matters situation here. Let's do him first. So Family Matters star Darius McCrary arrested near U.S.-Mexico border on a felony warrant. So Darius McCrary was arrested near the U.S.-Mexico border in California on Sunday on an out-of-state felony charge, page 6 confirmed. The Family Matters star is currently being held in San Diego jail and is not eligible for bail at this time. The actor was taken into custody by the U.S. Border Patrol, and online booking information lists the incident as a fugitive arrest, which applies to people who are wanted in another state. That's, just different pictures of him over the years. His rep tells page 6 that the warrant came out of Michigan due to missed court appearance regarding his failure to pay child support. She also claims that her client was given an improper serve because the court notice was sent to a P.O. box and he was only given 3 days to appear in court. She says McCrary had COVID-19 at the time and therefore did not check his P.O. box until the day after his court date. McCrary has been arrested for unpaid child support in the past. In November 2023, he was reportedly taken into police custody on a felony count of failing to pay child support because he owed $52,788.04 as of March the 12th, 2019. He was reportedly first arrested for his failure to keep up with child support payments in 2015 and told the judge 2 years later that he wasn't making any money. Less than a year later, McCrary was accused of dislocating, oh my God, his then 2-year-old daughter's arm. He denied the allegation and claimed his ex-wife, Tammy Brawner, faked the story. The former couple was married for 3 years. She filed for divorce in 2017. The former sitcom star rep tells us that this time her client doesn't owe any child support because the complaint comes from the mom of his eldest child. This is Zachariah, who is now 18 years old and has a trust fund set to kick in. Well, you know what? If he set up a trust fund for that 18-year-old, that's a good thing, right? This is crazy. So let's see. His son is a trust fund baby and the only beneficiary, but his mom wants the money, she claimed. According to her, the reason the actor was by the U.S.-Mexico border was because he partnered with someone in Tijuana, Mexico, who is a real estate investor and developer, to build shelter for the homeless community there. Darius was doing a good deed when he discovered he had a felony warrant at the border of Mexico for a missed court appearance, she told us. The father of 3, who who has 2 daughters, is set to appear before a judge at the San Diego court on Wednesday. So, the story is a little convoluted there, right? In the sense that, um, in the sense that, does he really owe this child support, or does the mother want access to this trust fund that he has set up for the child that she's trying to say she owes child support for? Yeah, federal warrant for child support is crazy. You know what? Listen, and hi Katrina. I feel like that with child support, I feel like locking someone up for old child support is crazy too. I don't know how locking them up is going to solve the problem. I think it needs to be another resolution to that. When they take away the driver's license, I guess I can understand that, but I don't know. It's crazy. I just think it's it got to be a better way to enforce the payment of this child support versus locking a person up. Katrina, your thoughts on this story?
Good Saturday, Diva. Chat. I don't see my panels up here on the way yet. I was out in the streets early and I made it back. But anyway, I don't see the thing for locking a man up for child support either, because you're not getting no money out of them. And then for them to get out, they got to bail out. So that's money that could be going into the child pocket instead of to the system pocket. So I don't get that part either. I guess they say, well, if you can't pay child support, I can take your freedom. But you only causing harm, because, like I said, you still got to pay to get out of jail. You was in jail. You're not doing anything for the child if you there all through the how many times that you're supposed to be there. So that's defeating the purpose. I do not agree with that. With him, he's been going down ever since Family Matters left. I don't know what's got into him. He with this one, that one. He just really shocked me. But then again, this Hollywood, so nothing these people do anymore will shock you. Um, because he has a great voice, singing voice. And he was a great actor. But girl, these people let these stuff get in their head, and to have kids out there that don't take care of them, that's sad. And I don't know if she's doing it to get into the trust, but if I feel like this, if he got a trust for that child, why can't he take some of the money out of it and use it for that child right then and there if she's not getting no support from him? But
They
good
say
luck to him.
that this particular mother, the child is 18.
Oh
So
shoot, 18 is over.
yeah. So every state is different. Like, so some states you pay longer if the child goes to college.
Yeah, I just want to say he got to 21 years old there. Yeah, that's the
Mhm.
only way they're extended. But if
Right.
he got back pay, they're gonna come whatever he work at, they're gonna pull it from his wages. So whatever he put on the book where he's working, they gonna pull those wages and they're gonna take it out of his check. And they don't care if they leave you with $1. They gonna send that child that money that's supposed to have it. So good luck with him. I hope he get back on the right track, because he has really gone down. But we'll see how it goes, Diva.
We'll see how it goes. Thank you, Katrina. Okay, I'm gonna roll right into the next story. And this next story is sad. I've seen it for a couple days and I've been avoiding it because I've been trying to see if like more information will come out. But this young lady, it's like she vanished out of thin air after going to work, and it just doesn't make sense. Let's take a listen.
23-year-old Philadelphia woman, Kada Scott, was last seen 4 days ago. Her family says she was at work one moment and gone the next. They also say she was being harassed over the phone by a stranger. And Steve, you spoke with Kada's family tonight. What did they tell you?
Well, this is where she went to work late Saturday night, and this is the same spot where she never came home from work early Sunday morning.
I think it's definitely wrong. She wouldn't just leave and not contact anyone, none of her friends, family.
People ride so fast, they wouldn't be able to see anything.
2 aunts stapled missing flyers where their niece, 23-year-old Kada Scott, was last seen before she just vanished.
She was last seen by her mother the night before at approximately 9:50 p.m. when Miss Scott was leaving for work.
Her phone been off since Saturday, well, to my life since Sunday morning, and it's going completely right straight to voicemail.
Kada is seen here when competing in the Miss Philadelphia Township pageant. Just started working 2 weeks ago here at the Terrace at Chestnut Hill Senior Home to help pay for her college. She was working a 10 p.m. Saturday to 6 a.m. Sunday shift just 5 minutes from her home, but she went missing here before her shift even ended, where we found what police did. No surveillance or security video cameras around here.
We do know she did arrive at work. She works at a nearby nursing home. However, we knew that she left prior to her shift's completion.
She did not work her full shift. The car was still sitting in the parking lot. So it's like she vanished. There were no cameras, no nothing. So where was she?
What do you think's going on here? What do you think happened?
I have no idea. That's the problem. We're trying to piece it together. She went into a job for a normal shift, and she didn't finish the shift and come home. So that's when the problem started. And that's where we're at right now, trying to figure out what's going on, where she's at, when did she actually leave the facility.
We did interview coworkers. There was nothing too extravagant in her statements.
Police say Scott had recently told family and friends a stranger or strangers were harassing her over the phone. Police processed her car and found nothing to hint foul play. But missing are the car keys, Kada's iPad, iPhone, and Apple Watch. None of them now traceable. All of which police sources say she used to grow a big following on social media and now wonder if a follower is involved in her disappearance somehow.
We're doing a deep dive on all her social media as we speak, and those are things we're going to be looking at.
Is there fear that somebody got obsessed with her and fell in love with her and found out where she worked and everything and maybe went and grabbed her?
It's a possibility, yes. Anything can happen. So that's what I'm afraid of, because at this point, it's something wrong.
All right, so the missing posters all say she was last seen wearing a fitted all-black jogging set. And last seen here, where both police and family were 4 hours on Monday, interviewing, searching, hoping, but coming up empty for both video and answers. Sheba, Jason?
All right, Steve, thank you.
So sad. Let me share screen again. Okay, that's what I'm saying. How do you go missing during the shift and nobody calls the police? This is messed up. It's so sad. So the mystery deepens. Dad of the missing Miss USA hopeful says daughter had no enemies despite threatening phone calls days before the disappearance. Investigators combed through a vast 55-acre estate in their search for the missing beauty hopeful. The father of the missing Miss USA consensus says he said he was blindsided to learn about the harassing phone calls his daughter had received days before she disappeared. A distraught Kevin Scott, the dad of missing Kada Scott, said he's trying to piece together what happened to his 23-year-old daughter, whom he described as a caring and laid-back person, and absolutely beautiful. May she rest in peace. My daughter did not have enemies. She's caring, just a regular kid, Scott told the U.S. Sun on Friday. Kada's family last saw her on the evening of October 4th as she headed to start her overnight shift at an assisted living facility in Philadelphia. Her family immediately reported her missing after Kada failed to return home on Sunday morning, and their calls went unanswered. When investigators visited the terrace at Chestnut Hill, the living facility where Kada worked, they found her vehicle in the parking lot. However, after thorough search inside and outside the facility, there was no sight of Kada. Authorities also determined Kada's car keys, cell phone, and iPad were missing. John Craig, the captain of the Philadelphia Police Department, called the investigation puzzling due to the lack of security cameras at the living facility. Craig also raised concern about a series of harassing phone calls Kada told friends she was receiving in the days leading up to her disappearance. Days prior to her disappearance, Ms. Scott related to family and friends that unknown individuals or person have been harassing her via phone, the police captain said. Craig added that investigators were doing a deep dive into all of Kada's social media accounts, saying, "We're investigating that. We're trying to learn more." Scott Kada's dad said he was shocked when he was informed about the threatening calls his daughter had been receiving, telling the U.S. Sun, "I had no knowledge not until the whole deal happened." Kim Matthews, Kada's mother, said her daughter mentioned the disturbing calls to friends. However, she told ABC affiliate she does not give any names. So we're trying to piece together to find out exactly who these people are, Matthews told the outlet. It has been horrible. I just want my daughter to come home. So she's missing. She's 23. Last seen on East Alberton Avenue, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. She's 5 feet 6 inches, weighs 120 pounds, brown eyes, hair color black. And they said anyone with any information can call or text Philadelphia police at 215-686-TIPS 8477. Scott said his daughter is not a troublemaker and had never run away from home. Just no issues, just laid back, kind of like my personality, kind of introverted, Scott told the U.S. Sun. Scott said his daughter had recently started working at the living facility before she went missing. She was like a second week in, I believe, the father said. So she didn't really have a close relationship with any of the other co-workers like that. They said they were like on speaking basis with her, kind of like good evening, have a good night, but no close relationship at the facility with any of the other co-workers. But we reached out to her friends, family, anyone that she supposedly could have hung out with or went over to their houses. The family, Scott said, has not been holding up too well since Kada vanished. We still haven't located my daughter. We are her parents, so we're trying to figure out what to do, he said. So on Friday, Philadelphia police scoured the grounds of Albury, Alberton, less than 3 miles from where Kada's workplace. Investigators blocked off several intersections around the location, a vast 55-acre property that features wooded areas. Our evidence we have put us in this location, Frank Venor, the deputy for the Philadelphia Police Department, told reporters. However, Venor confirmed authorities have not uncovered significant evidence related to Kada's disappearance. To the point, nothing has been found that related to the investigation. We found some clothing items. Well, they found something. That's sad, which we have no idea if they're related to this or not. Venor said. This particular case led us to this area. Venor described the case as troubling missing person report, adding that investigators have no signs that the person is involuntarily missing. Kada, a Penn State student, was preparing to compete in the 2026 Miss Pennsylvania pageant scheduled for January next year. Authorities said she was last seen leaving work shortly after she arrived, wearing black scrubs. This is very troubling, and I feel like they always keep saying, like with these brown girls, like, oh, how do we know she didn't, go with somebody? This is very sad. Katrina, your thoughts?
Well, did she finish her shift?
She did not.
And nobody took over her patients and said, like, where she at? Why she left her patients like this?
That part.
So did somebody put her in the laundry barrel and sneak her out of there? Because they say they can't find her. And her iPad is gone. Her phone is gone. Her keys is missing. Like, was somebody there to visit one of their family members and did something, or was pretending to visit one of their family members and did something to her? I mean, because this is a weird story, and I'm at the point where when she didn't finish her shift, nobody called or did anything. Nobody alerted saying where this girl went. So what they did, they gave her patients to the other nurses or something. This is very, very troubling. I mean, like, who vanished from their job? I don't get that one. And then she said she had people looking for her. I mean, harassing her or whatsoever. So I'm thinking, like, did they come in there and sneak her out there some kind of way? Put her, because they have those linen things, they can push somebody out the door. This is weird. And I'm just, like I just said, nobody called to see where she was at. This is a weird story. I don't know how they got her out there, or maybe somebody lured her outside or something. But I don't even know what to say other than somebody had to went to the nursing home to get her.
Yeah, you know why it's troubling what to say, because even if they did lure her outside, right? Even if they did lure her outside, like they lured her outside and she brought her keys with her phone, her iPad. Because now they say the car keys are missing, but the car was there. I'm feeling like, yeah, that's what Callie, I'm feeling like it was somebody on this job. I really am, because this just doesn't make sense. Your car stays there, but your car keys are gone. The iPad is gone. Your iWatch is gone. And nobody is questioning, like nobody at the job is saying nothing. They like, we just said hi and bye to her. I don't care if she was new 2 weeks in. Like you said, there was a job she had to do. She must have had some patience. So nobody was saying, okay, where is she? Why isn't she taking care of patients? Like, I'm feeling like it's somebody at this job. And she's
the administrator or one of the nurses or orderly, because then they're saying they can't see anything on the cameras. The cameras are shoddy. Like, what nursing home have shoddy cameras? I mean, come on.
They didn't have that.
Girl, me too. But I'm just saying, like, they saying the cameras wasn't working. Nobody seen her. The iPad, like you said, the iPad is missing. The Apple Watch is missing. So all that stuff must be turned off, because normally if you get that person location, well, I don't know if they have to share it with you or not, but sometimes you can just go on the internet and put in somebody's phone number and they can tell you where that person is at. Where their phone is at, where their phone was last used at. Like I said, this is a weird situation. I don't know if the person that was stalking her, like you said, probably was a coworker. Because I think at 10 o'clock, you can't even have no visitors in the nursing home at that time, unless they change the rules. Yeah, you gotta stay connected to this one, because this one has got me.
It got me too. It got me too, and I'm just it's just baffling to me. But I really am leaning towards that it's somebody at this darn job, because it just don't make sense otherwise. Because even if somebody, like, she knew somebody was harassing her on the phone, right? And so it's like, if you get a crazy call from somebody you don't know, I don't see her going outside to be like, let me go see who this is. And then you going outside, you got your iPad with you got your car keys with you. It just don't, something's not adding up. I'm just wondering if it's somebody at this job, because who else would not be concerned that, her car is still there. And not only that, she didn't finish out her shift. It just doesn't make sense. But I will definitely stay connected to the story. It's just crazy and it's sad. And I feel for the family. Like, you say goodbye to your daughter. She's going to work for her shift. And then now all of a sudden she's missing. That job failed her. Thank you, Kay. Because I couldn't even get, I can't even get myself together here. The job failed her for sure. And that's why I'm thinking it was somebody at that job. Because all of a sudden she started getting these crazy calls, and she only been at the job for 2 weeks. Probably was somebody creepy at that job. But I will definitely stay connected to the story, and we'll see, how it pans out. And I'm hoping that is a miracle and she is okay. So I'm going to go ahead and roll into this last story, where this beloved teacher stole somebody's identity, got away with it for years, and the community was actually shocked when she got arrested. Let me share screen. Where is it?
County teacher has been arrested, is facing several charges, including identity theft. Thanks for sticking with us here. Live at 5, I'm Jamie Bowl.
And I'm Kim Anderson. Shelby police allege Janet Martin, also known as Janet Brown, used another person's social security number to get a job with the school district.
Cleveland County School says Martin had been an employee with them for nearly 20 years.
Katie Salt has a closer look at the charges and the investigation that now spans 2 states.
Shelby police say this started back in August when they got a call from officers in Georgia. A woman there reported someone using her social security number. Martin has now been charged with identity fraud in connection to that case. Parents of students here at Shelby Middle School shocked and heartbroken to learn a beloved teacher had been arrested.
I mean, you're talking about a woman that was Teacher of the Year in Cleveland County. You're talking about a woman that nobody has anything bad to say. She was an amazing person, and she cared about her students.
Merlin Jenkins says her daughter had Janet Brown as a math teacher in 7th grade.
She came home crying, saying, you know, Miss Brown's not allowed back at school. What's going on? You know, like I said, I mean, this woman was truly an amazing teacher. It hit her students and even her past students. You know, I work with a lady that she's 30 and she was her teacher, you know, and still nothing bad that can be said about her but what she did. Yes, it was wrong, but her as a person, you really can't say anything bad about her.
The district says Janet Martin, who was also known as Janet Brown, was hired in March 2007. Officials allege Martin used someone else's social security number to get a job with Cleveland County Schools. She now faces multiple charges, including identity theft, forgery, and obtaining property by false pretenses. We asked the district about the background check process and if fingerprints are required for new employees. A spokesperson sent us a statement that reads in part, quote, in accordance with state law and procedures established by the superintendent, a criminal history check is conducted on all final candidates for employment. Shelby Police says that Martin also faces unrelated fraud charges in South Carolina. She was arrested there in September. A spokesperson for Cleveland County Schools says Martin is no longer employed with the district. Reporting in Shelby, Katie Solt, WBTV, on your side.
More to come on this story.
Ooh. So hold on one second. Totally shocked. Parent reacts to arrest of Shelby Middle School teacher. Shelby, a Cleveland County teacher, has been arrested and is facing several charges, including identity theft. Shelby police allege Janet Martin, also known as Janet Brown, used another person's social security number to get a job with the school district. Cleveland County Schools said Martin had been an employee with them for nearly 20 years. Shelby police said that this started when they got a call in August from officers in Georgia. A woman there reported someone else using her social security number. Martin is now charged with identity theft connected to that investigation. Marlon Jenkins said her daughter had Janet Brown as a math teacher in the 7th grade. She was shocked to hear about the arrest. I mean, you're talking about a woman who was a teacher of the year in Cleveland County, Jenkins said. You're talking about a woman who nobody had anything bad to say about. She was an amazing person and she cared about her students. Jenkins said the school sent her a letter in September saying Martin was no longer employed. Jenkins said her daughter was distraught. She came home crying saying, you know, Miss Brown, not allowed back in the school. What's going on? You know, like I said, I mean, this woman was truly an amazing teacher, Jenkins said. It hits her students, even her past students. I work with a lady who is 30 and she was her teacher. There's nothing bad that can be said about her, but what she did. Yes, it was wrong, but as a person, you really can't say anything bad about her. The district says Martin was hired in March 2007. Police allege Martin used someone else's security number to get a job with Cleveland County Schools. She now faces multiple charges, including identity theft, forgery, and obtaining property by false pretenses. We asked the district about the background check process and if fingerprints are required for new employees. A spokesperson sent us a statement that reads in part, in accordance with state law and procedures established by a superintendent, a criminal history check is conducted on all final candidates for employment. I mean, you have to question, you know, how did it happen and how the process is going to change to keep this from happening anymore, Jenkins says. Shelby police says Martin also faces unrelated fraud charges in South Carolina, and she was arrested there in September. A spokesperson for Cleveland County Schools says Martin is no longer employed by the district. I mean, to have gotten away with it for 20 years is crazy. Katrina, your thoughts? Yeah, I don't know the why. I don't know what was wrong with her background that she stole and used somebody else's. They didn't tell us, and I was looking everywhere to see if I can find information on that. Yeah, Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah, how old was the person that she stole their social security number from?
They didn't know.
Because I'm thinking, like, if she stole somebody's social security, and I don't know if the other person got a job, and when they filed taxes, nobody caught it. I don't know how old the other person is. That's the thing. But if that other person is working and she's working as a teacher using that social security number, the IRS didn't pick that up. I mean, I would think that the IRS would pick that up, or saying that you didn't do your taxes, filing up on your taxes or stuff like that. And did she file taxes? Because if she filed taxes, they would see that her name doesn't belong to this social security number.
Well, you
So
know
I
what?
don't.
To be honest with you, Katrina, there are some people in this world that literally they have the exact same name, but they differ by birth dates. Like sometimes you'll be shocked if you Google your name and find out how many other people like literally almost have your exact same name, but maybe an initial in the middle is different or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. So
Well, it's just like Katrina, Trina of Miami. She has we both have the same name, Katrina Taylor. Well, she ain't got married now though. But yeah, I get that part. But my son and my and his father he was a senior and he was a junior, but they both had the same the same name, but except they had the junior or the senior at the end. But I'm just saying, even with that, taxes come up though, Diva.
no, I'm not disagreeing
So
with you. I
I'm trying,
don't know how she got
yeah,
away.
because I'm like, how in the world did she get away with that for so long? Because she had to pay taxes, or did she not file any taxes? I don't know how in the heck she got away with that for so long, and I don't know what she did that she had to use somebody's social security number to teach these children, and the way the children loved her and whatsoever. But girl, whatever you had done, you should have tried to have it expunged from your record or something. If they saying that you this good great of a teacher, I'm quite sure if you put in the work, whatever you had did, unless you unalive somebody, and I mean, I can see that, or you got a felony, but felonies fall off after 10 years. So I'm thinking like whatever you did, maybe you should have went down there and had it expunged, or talked to a lawyer or something. So now you and did all this teaching, you and helped these kids and whatsoever, but now you locked up, and I'm quite sure that person gonna file charges against you for using their number. I mean, their social security number, or the judge gonna put you in jail for like 2 to 3 years, and it's sad. Especially when they're saying that you was a good teacher. Oh gosh, like I said, whatever she did, she should have had it expunged from her record and tried to live the right way. Because once them computers and stuff, people put that stuff in, they're gonna say, "Well, you got a job here. Why when you was working at this school? The person that came up there tried to do something. They was like, well, why you not working at what? Where's your income from this school that you've been paid for, that you've been teaching at?" Oh God, these people. They
Just
need to get a better system.
well, you know what? She worked at the same school for 20 years, and I
Hmm.
think perhaps the process maybe in 2007 or whenever she first started working for them probably wasn't the same. But I'm also like, you got to have credentials to be a teacher. So
Exactly.
still somebody's identity that had the credentials. I don't know. This is wild. This is another story I'm gonna stay connected to see if I see any updates. But I really was trying to dig, but I couldn't find it anywhere to see why would she have the need to use somebody else's name in the first place. It was in Cleveland County, North Carolina. Do you know more about it? Oh, you said was this in? I got it. I clicked off of it because what happens is once I give the story, I click out of it because not to hold my computer up. But I'm gonna dig more into it and I'll kind of let you know. So before we close out, Katrina, since I have time, I'm gonna do this. I'll do the Diddy story where he got all choked up. He got all choked up, letting Baby Love know that what, Daddy's not coming home yet. So hold on. Let me share a screen and we get into this story.
Okay, why you looking it up? Did the judge deny his prison where he wanted to go?
He didn't. The judge didn't say where he should go, but the judge actually said he should go to a place that has a drug program. So he didn't say, yeah, I agree that he should go to Fort Dixon, New Jersey, but the judge said, I do agree that he should go to a place that has a drug program. And if he does a drug program, and I don't know how long those programs are, but if he does a drug program, I heard it can shave like a year off of his sentence too. So the judge did say yes to that. So Diddy chokes up on phone with baby love. Daddy's away for a little while. A little while. Daddy been away for a minute now. She's adorable, baby love. Okay. So Sean Diddy Combs had to break some tough news to his 2-year-old daughter after the judge sentenced him to 50 months in federal prison. And he got emotional when he had to tell her that daddy wasn't coming home as soon as the family had hope. Sources close to the situation tell TMZ Diddy was talking to the mother of his youngest child, Dana Tran, on the phone after sentencing, and she put their toddler daughter Love on the phone, and the kid asked her father when she could see him and where he was. Diddy was at the NDC Brooklyn, and we're told he choked up when Love told him, "I miss you, Daddy." An emotional Diddy replied, "I miss you and love you very much, Love." Our sources also tell us Diddy told Love Daddy's away for a little while and that he will see her very soon. Love, Diddy's youngest child, lives in Los Angeles with Dana, and our sources say they traveled to New York last week for Diddy's sentencing hearing. Dana went to the hearing while Love stayed back at the hotel with a babysitter. The judge gave Diddy 50 months in prison, dashing Diddy's hopes of walking free and reuniting with his family. We're told Diddy called up Dana on Sunday, and that's when he had his emotional call with Love, who is celebrating another birthday without her father. She turns 3 years old this upcoming Wednesday. I didn't know she was 3 already. Our sources say Diddy hasn't seen Love outside of prison since August 2024, a little over a month before his arrest. Diddy, Love, and Dana all went to Miami's Children's Museum that day, and we obtained never before seen photos of the family outing. Diddy's waiting to find out where he's going to serve his sentence, but there's still a chance that he gets home sooner than later. He asked President Trump for a pardon. I don't think President Trump is going to give this pardon, because if he was, I feel like he would have did it already, but I could be wrong. What are your thoughts on, him choking up, telling baby Love, "I'm not coming home just yet"?
I mean, I sympathize with him. I do. That's a hard thing for your children, especially in that young age as the child is anyway. The father need to be around so they would know them. I know she know him, but you know what I'm saying, just know him. And I mean, I would have choked up too, because he had told them the first time when they had knocked some of those charges off, he had whispered to his mom them that he was coming home, not knowing that these folks was finna stack it on you. It's sad, but if he get into like this federal prison system, they have it set up. Like if he going to a military base with this, being in prison, whatsoever, they have it set up that the kids can see them, and they have it like a playroom and all that type of stuff, and a playground and all that, and they sit like in an auditorium where they can watch movies and all that type of stuff. If they bring her there to visit him. um I feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for the children. I do. I'm not gonna lie. I feel sorry for the children. And maybe Diddy will see now. Look, I can't do the stuff I did before. I gotta walk a straight and narrow line, because these folks is not playing with me whenever he gets out. Because that judge ain't giving him no leeway, no time, no nothing. And I think that if Trump give him a pardon, which I thought that he was going to do, what the word on the street was he was. But anyway, if he give him a pardon, people are going to be looking at him because of the allegations that he has on him, mimicking him in the Epstein file. So I don't know. He said that he might give Jesleen a pardon, so he got to look at her case. So if he give her one, there's no way he shouldn't give Diddy now. But this is Trump for us. So I just pray. I mean, he just need to pray. You need to pray. I mean, maybe things will happen in a better way. And yeah, I'm sad for him, because no child should have to go through that. No child should have to go through that. But that's
Yeah.
all I got.
Thank you, Katrina. You know what? And that's why I'm feeling for Wendy kids, right? She got 3 kids, and for all the information and evidence that they seem to have, it doesn't seem like this is going to go well for them. But I will definitely say, many people have said it, and we said it over here, that Diddy case, it changed the game, right? Cassie lawsuit changed the game. The Diddy case changed the game, because now all of a sudden they love to do these press conferences to tell you, because really what they want to do, they want to railroad you in the public's eye before you even get to go see your day in a courtroom. And let's be clear, a 20-something minute press conference on Wendy and Eddie Osefo, it was excessive, because we got other cases out here that people are unalived, and we ain't getting no 20-minute press conference. That's Celeste Rivers. Where's the press conference? Because people been calling and asking y'all what's going on with that. Where's the press conference? So, they changed the game to have you kind of railroaded in the public's eye before you even see your day in court. And this is what we were saying, that when you set a precedence over here in one case, it's going to trickle down and impact other people in their case later on down the line. And that Diddy case, it is impacting in an indirect way the whole Wendy and Eddie Osefo, because like I said, when you're doing a press conference for 20-something minutes, it's crazy. But you got to give them something to work with. They can't just pull it out of nowhere. It got to be something for them to work with. And when you put in a claim, I don't know how many people, unless they're like uber rich, you're sitting with in your home $450,000 worth of stuff that could be stolen, and these people stole it without nothing being, not a piece of evidence, looking like they threw it in garbage bags or nothing. They didn't go to your kitchen, get garbage bags, nothing. They just had enough bags, climbed through the window. They wasn't throwing it out the window. Nothing was getting caught on the side. Nothing. I feel for Eddie and Wendy. But at the same time, if you defrauded the system, you do the crime, you're going to have to do the time.
And that's the sad thing. They're in debt, allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
But you got $450,000 worth of stuff in your house.
That part.
I mean, girl, I've been punting and returning and whatsoever to pay off my debt.
Right.
But you saying that somebody took your stuff and you wearing it in public, I mean, or taking it back, these folks were going to watch you. Like I said last night, it's not like you got 500, 800, 900, or even 3,000. You got 450,000. You really think those people weren't going to watch you? Because they got to find more people to buy insurance now, because they got to pay. They had to pay that out. So you honestly think these people wasn't finna watch you? That was just stupid. And I thought, like I said, I thought they were smarter than that. Because they didn't use none of their senses. No book sense, no common sense, no street sense, no nothing. This was just ridiculous and stupid. And like I said, they're innocent until proven guilty. We just going by what people saying on the streets, and we listening and doing all that. But the charge that's on y'all, and the way the people watched it and put it out there, y'all are a mess. And that, like I said, all these people go on these shows and flaunt and say this and say that, and half the stuff they be talking about don't even be real merchandise. It be from the Chinese stores, and they put on this persona like they got all these Birkins and Christian Dior's and all that, and they're coming right from China. But Wendy and Eddie, I wish y'all luck. I do feel sorry for those kids, because y'all did this and you didn't have to. Scale down. If you on the show and you trying to show your life, your real life, scale down. Y'all did all this, and for what? You might be facing some prison and jail time if y'all don't work out something. But like I said, that's ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I mean, every last one of these people just about got allegations on them, these housewives. They should do housewives that goes to jail instead of housewives or whatever little county they in. But that's all I got, Diva.
Yeah, she has cut off the comments on her post. You can't comment. Because I'm sure the comments would have been on fire. Oh, this one is funny, it's interesting. You can add a comment on this one. But for it seemed like a lot of them, she has cut off the comments. Yeah, she cut off the comments on these. But I know why, because she don't want the people going to probably go in there and start blasting her. And this is an expensive outfit too. So I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. Like, you did all of this for the clicks and the views and the this is bad. Some of them she has
And
let
all of them fake. Y'all saying, well, we've been knew this. Well, Ashley, girl, you need to be quiet. But I'm just saying, all of them fake. So y'all all on this show being fake because nothing that y'all showing us is your real life. You showing people what y'all want us, the perception of you, but it's not you. Ashley, Giselle, like she said, with she was back with her kid's father. That was a lie. Ashley and Michael, I don't know what kind of relationship that was. So, all of them come on there lying. I mean, they none of them tell the whole truth. They be half truth. They tell what they want to tell, and they keep the rest to themselves because none of them really actually really living they true life. Now, and the only person I can give a little bit leeway to, and I hate to say it, is Giselle. Even though you lied about your, your kid's father was up because you trying to save your job, but looking at Giselle, it doesn't look like she's tried to live over her means. And for me to say that about Giselle, that's totally, I mean, that's just me, but it's just like she's not trying to live over her means. She's trying to live in her means and stay out of trouble. The only thing she did was lie and mess with, and lied on Chris and all that type of stuff. But as living out her means, I don't see her doing that.
Wayne, anything you want to say?
No.
Thank you. Callie.
Yeah. First of all, Giselle has a $20-something thousand watch on that she wears all the time and with matching bracelets. I think that because of the way the show is produced, it's not produced on, oh, let's see what Giselle has. But Giselle be having on some expensive stuff. We might not like it. It might not be our style, but I've seen her with Versace on. I've seen her with Gucci on. She got Van Cleef up and down her wrist. She got a G-Wagon. So, I look, I'm not going to sit here and say Giselle is living within her means and ain't no telling how much she spent on that remodel of that house, which I would have just bought a whole nother house. That house to me wasn't worth putting that type of money into it.
Right.
But the problem with this show is that it's supposed to be a platform for rich people.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't pay enough for you to pretend to be rich and build wealth at the same time. What happens is you spend all your money pretending to be rich because you got to pay taxes. And then I don't know if these people have an agent that gets a percentage, but that salary that they get from this show starts dwindling down real quick when you pay taxes and makeup people and stylists and hair people. It's a lot of overhead. I think Nene and Kim had to fight to even get their electric bills paid because they would come and plug up all this equipment and they were getting these ginormous electric bills that that people couldn't afford to pay.
I remember that, yeah.
So, yeah. So I don't even know if that's something that's all across the board for housewives, that they can expense their electric bills now. I hope it is. But even Joe Giudice said his first season on the show, I think he said he spent like $180-something thousand being on the show between the party and the stuff. I think he said for the party and stuff, just for them to be on that show. Because again, this show is supposed to be a platform for people that are already rich and maybe they want to be famous, they want to get attention, they want to, maybe become influencers on the side as a side hustle or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the problem with Bravo is this split with people promoting their businesses. If they would allow people to come on this show and promote their businesses and not want part of the business, they would be able to get wealthy people. I think that that's what's creating this problem. The reason why they cannot get the wealthy people that should be on the show. Because yeah, if I'm have a business, I might want to come on here and promote my restaurant. But it's not worth it to me if you want part of my restaurant.
Right.
So what happens is you get these people that are sort of faking it, that are trying to robbing Peter to pay Paul and all of this stuff. I got to be honest. I liked Wendy because she was playing the house. She seemed like she was trying to play along with the housewives, like be a housewife. She was married. She was glowing up. All of these things she was giving Bravo housewife. And sometimes a lot of the women on that show don't. I feel like that show to me is not held to the same bar as the other franchises. So I liked Wendy for that, but I have to be honest. I did wonder the entire time what kind of lawyer was Eddie that they were able to afford all of this stuff. And I thought maybe he was a really like exceptional lawyer, or maybe, you know, even though his family didn't like him, that still doesn't mean he didn't come from family money. So I thought maybe it was something like that. Unfortunately, I have a feeling that we're gonna find out that this is not the only caper that they have pulled. I think that this was just the most sloppy. If they're in all of this debt, I have a feeling that nothing that we've seen from these people is quite what we think it is. Even that Happy Eddie business, I'm sincerely wondering if that is a licensing deal. Like, does he really own this dispensary? Like, I don't know. It's something about that that's giving me like this is like some kind of brand deal that you guys got approached with. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong. This was the dumbest thing. They need to be on the world's dumbest criminals. If you were going to do this, just have somebody rob your house.
Yeah.
That's all you had to do, was have somebody, some shady person, you know, find somebody and just tip them off, and they would have came and robbed your house. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you know somebody that knows a sketchy character, just be like, wink, wink, you know, Wendy from the Housewives is out of town and she didn't turn her alarm on. They would have went right over there and robbed that house, and the house would have been robbed for real. This is, I don't know what made them think that this would be this easy to defraud this insurance company like this. This makes me question a lot of stuff about them. And it definitely makes me look at their character where I'm like, is anything real about you guys? You know, because there's a way to kind of fake your way through school by paying people to do your work and all of that stuff. It just makes me question everything about them. Also makes me, like, I'm hearing people saying that Eddie wasn't a practicing lawyer. I don't know if that's true. You know, people are saying that they're in all of this debt. Like, debt from what? You know,
Well,
is it just from,
when she came
because
on,
Wendy did get paid.
Yeah, but no, when she came on, I thought that she did talk about a lot of student loan debt.
I believe that was a rumor that came from one of these bloggers that had some type of vendetta against the ladies on the show. Like, that's where that whole, I never heard Wendy. I don't remember hearing Wendy say that. It was like that whole thing with Monique, and we had that blogger that was planting the fake stories about all of the ladies on the show because they were so on Monique's side. I think that's where that student loan thing came from. I'm not saying that she doesn't have student loans. It's also possible that she just got a lot of scholarships, that she just picked degrees where they were offering scholarships just for the sake of getting a degree. You know, there are some people that do that. They just go, oh, they're offering a scholarship for this, I'm just going to major in this. And then, you know, doesn't really do much for them career-wise. She had quit her job at Johns Hopkins. I don't know.
I had told y'all, I had said that, but Callie, I had said with that job, I said it wasn't a quit. The people wanted
They probably asked her to leave. Yeah. Right.
The people wanted to beat me down when I said it way back then. I don't think she quit. I think, you know, there's more to this. There's more to this, and I agree with you that
they didn't want her on the show.
Right.
That's what I think.
Yeah. Oh, wait, you said, wait a minute. You said they didn't want her on the
Yeah,
Bravo
but
show?
I think John Hopkins did not want her on that show. I
Oh,
think
right,
that
right,
it was
right.
one of
Because it
those
wasn't good
things
for
where if
their
you're going to
brand.
be on the show, you can't work
Right.
here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that's probably what happened. I don't know what their salaries are on Potomac, but I mean, when you even think about the big salaries that like Candy and Nene were getting, yeah, it sounds like a lot of money if you're not spending all of that money to create a fake life. That's the thing. It's a lot of money if you already can afford this house, if you already can afford these clothes, if you already can afford this lifestyle, and then you can take that money and just invest it, or whatever with it. But if you're trying to pretend to be rich, that's literally just the money to pretend to be rich and pay your taxes. And I think that that is what's happening to these people, because again, this was never a platform for an everyday working person. I would never go on one of these shows. I'm not rich.
Yeah, no,
And
I think you hit
Potomac
the nail on
started
the head.
off
I
as
think
a
you hit the
different
nail on the head.
franchise.
I think you hit the nail on the head, right?
Yeah.
Is the fact that they got to try to keep up, and the salary is not going to help them upkeep this lifestyle that they're pretending that they just naturally have. It's just not going to happen, and it's sad. But you can say as much as you want about Giselle and Robin, and listen, I think with all these reality shows, these people have their issues, right? Regardless of if Giselle should have bought a different house or not, I will say this: she didn't get crazy, and she did see the do her remodel in increments, and she even allowed the cameras to come when she wasn't even finished the home yet. I think now they just are reckless because they're trying to prove something. Just like Mia, you put down hardwood floors in a rental.
I don't believe that. I think that the owners of that home were fixing it up to sell it, and Nia probably knew them or had some kind of deal where she could rent it until the house was sold. I never believed anything about Nia. I'm so glad she's going off that show, because that whole thing, and I've known people that have done it. They will rent homes, especially those big homes like that, while they're on the market, temporary month-to-month lease. And when the house sells, either the new owner can continue to rent to you or you just move. And I believe that house was being remodeled because it was being sold. I don't think that Nia remodeled anything in that house. Potomac has always had a problem with this, and I think it's because it was never, from its inception, it was supposed to be a different show. It was supposed to be a spinoff of the Housewives, like a Southern Charm or something like that, with this Jack and Jill organization. But Jack and Jill did not want their organization to be affiliated with the show. So they got folded into Housewives. The problem is, when they folded them into Housewives, they never changed the cast it as though they were casting for a housewife show. So they tried to bring some people. I don't know that area. Is it that difficult to find like ladies that are well off that got like personalities? But again,
No, it's
I think that
difficult to find people that want to expose their lifestyle on TV and they really have money like that. Because what is your gain?
Yeah.
What is your gain? If I
especially
promote
if you
my
can't.
business, you gonna try to take 50% of my already established. Why would I come here? Like, what would be my gain? So I think that's the real issue and the real problem as to why they can't get people. And so they get these individuals, and like you said, they don't have the money, but then they got to step it up as if they do. And you got to do some type of event or something in your house or whatever. And just last season, Wendy threw herself that extravagant birthday party, in the boat and this and that. They was just wilding out with the cash. And Wendy is a label person. She's a label person, and she gets crazy with wearing those labels. But now we know that she also takes the labels. She takes some of this stuff back. She buys and returns. It's just a hot mess. I don't know. I don't know
Also,
what else.
all this plastic surgery costs money. Everyone's running around here getting the boobs, the butts, and all. Have this a regular surgery costs thousands upon thousands of dollars. You know, so these plastic surgery, this stuff costs money. It's probably like what, 50, 60 grand for a boob job? Like, and then they're going getting these fillers every couple of months. You got to keep that up. Like, this is really a platform for somebody who is wealthy. And that's what the show was conceived for. The show wasn't conceived for a person that's barely making it to get on the show and think they're going to get a come up. This platform is almost for someone like, say, like a Sutton. Like, she's divorced. She wants to feel like she has a job. She doesn't want to sit in the house and eat buns all day. You know, she wants to feel like she's doing something other than just getting alimony. That's who really this show is for. It is not for somebody who is trying to come up. This is not the platform for them. And these people just get caught up every time in some foolishness. Remember, we had Taylor's husband that unalived himself on Beverly Hills because they were fronting and pretending they had stuff they didn't have.
Yeah, that was sad. That was sad.
So
you know what? They connected to this question. Eddie just mentioned that he was going to LA or somewhere to expand his business. He mentioned that he was coming to Jersey. He had got a location in Jersey. But again, now we know in real time, right, that their money issues, and they was just fronting and stunting. I can't say it better. And even on the opening episode, they talked about how his business was allegedly doing so well that they can pick and choose their projects. But I don't know if she already got the check from Housewife Swap or Wife Swap or whatever, but I know they're not showing that episode now with her on it.
Also, with this business, again, we don't know if this is actually his business. I mean, look at Diddy and Ciroc. Do you know for years people thought that?
Yeah, but you know what? To me, Kelly, but to me that doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, he was getting a ridiculous check from Ciroc. So my thing is, I don't care if you are licensed it, because a lot of the stuff the Kardashians do is licensed, but they still raking in the cash.
It does matter from the perception of the people watching you. Because for me, a person that actually has built and owns a business is totally different from Billy D. Williams selling Colt 45. To me, that's not the same person, and I don't think they should be looked at as the same. Well, I don't know. Maybe Eddie does own this business. I'm just saying. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that's tomatoes in the sense that if to me, at the end of the day, if you're making money from it, legit money from it, then whatever. I could care if you licensed out your name or use your name or whatever. Because let's be clear, Ralph Lauren, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, the family doesn't even, Gucci for sure, I know, the family no longer even owns Gucci, right? Somebody else owns it, and they get different designers to come in and to design for Gucci. So it, to me, it's business, and it is what it is. But the real problem is, are you making money, whether it's licensed or you built it from scratch or you partnered with somebody, whatever, or was the whole thing fraudulent? My thing is, if you legit, however way you legit, I roll with it. You got a licensing deal, just like Jordan, he don't own Nike, but he sure is raking in the cash from it. So I don't have a problem with a licensing deal and lending your name. My problem rolls into if you're being fraudulent. But listen, guys, we won't stick to these stories. Wendy and Eddie got a long road ahead of them. And especially, just if y'all know anything from here, but you should know, these companies, when they don't like to give out their money. So, and they tell you right on the phone, this is being recorded. And then when you sign these different documents, it tells you on the documents that you signing this is you saying that you agree that everything you writing in here is true and accurate. I just don't know. Like, I couldn't have been that desperate. If anything, I would have just said, we gotta file for bankruptcy and take our chances. It's better than fraud and you facing charges, felony charges. And then their bond was $50,000, which I think And listen, what they're being accused of is wrong. But a $50,000 bond, and I read stories all day so I could do these trending topics at night. There's people that are being accused of taking somebody's life, and their bond wasn't even $50,000. It's crazy, but you know what? They gotta face the music. Listen, guys, I appreciate y'all coming through. Y'all know the routine. If you ain't hit that like button on the way in, hit it on the way out. Good night and goodbye, everybody. Choo choo.